Hi there. Welcome to Math Meets Mastery with Nana. My name is Nana Nkrahine, and I help students who want to do well in math, achieve their goals, pass their tests, and become confident in their ability to excel academically. In this video, I will share a bit about myself and give you a sense of what my business is like, Math Meets Mastery, and what tutoring with Math Meets Mastery looks like. Let's get started. I mostly grew up in Ghana in West Africa. I currently live in Massachusetts in the US with my husband and my 2-year-old son. He's a handful, but I love him. I enjoy watching Korean dramas. They take a lot of time, but they're fun and I really love watching them. And I also love spending time with my family, with my friends, and I like to talk a lot. So tutoring is a great field for me, I guess. I also really enjoy theology. I'm a theology nerd. I love hosting people in my home, so having people over, cooking for them and things like that. But I do not like housework. So that's something that I'm working on, something that I hope in the future I can develop a love and a passion for, but currently not so much. I can't really pinpoint where my passion for math began, but if I really think about it, I think it started in 4th grade. I had a math teacher called Miss Campbell, and she really encouraged me in math, and she made me believe that I could do it. Ever since then, I've had this belief that I can do it. Even when it's hard, I still believe that I can do it, and it's been a huge help in getting me to actually overcome the challenges that I have faced and to get to where I am today. So I think that's where it started, and I also believe that's where my desire to be an educator started. I saw the power of an educator and how I could do what Miss Campbell did, kind of use my knowledge and my gifts to give back to other people and help them to also overcome their anxieties. So as I previously mentioned, I have loved math since I was younger. And when I went to college and was thinking about what to major in, math was something that I thought, you know what, even if it gets tough or even if it gets challenging, I think I can do it. And that's what got me to major in math. And I majored in math and econ. And after graduation, I really contemplated becoming a math teacher. I thought about it. I even applied for a few jobs. But when it really came down to it, student loans drew me out of the math business. And I'm sure, as some of you can relate, when those student loans come hitting you after graduation, it becomes a really tough choice. And so I decided to use the math and econ background that I had developed in college elsewhere, somewhere that would allow me to pay my student loans and not be in debt for a very long time. And so I went into economic consulting, and it was great because it also intertwined with my passions, math and econ, which was a new passion I developed in college. I did that for a while. So once I had finished paying off my loans and was in a good financial place, I realized that it was now time that I could think about other things. And around that same time, I had my son. And so I wanted a job that was flexible. I loved what I was doing in economic consulting. As an analyst, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as flexible. And so I wanted something that was flexible that I would also love. And so that's how I came back to math tutoring. The advice that I would give to parents looking for a math tutor is, you have to pick me. I'm joking. No, I would say the most important thing is to pick somebody who will focus on developing critical thinking skills or problem solving skills in your child. A huge component of math is critical thinking and problem solving. And so most of the time, students are able to even cover the basics, but when it comes to those word problems, those serious word problems, they get confused and it can really trip them up. And so it's important that whoever you pick as your tutor has a plan to develop these critical thinking skills in your child so that when they are faced with difficult problems, they're able to stand on their own and able to reason it out. And that's something that I do in this tutoring business. So no pressure, but I might be the tutor for your child. I've tutored students as young as 6, and from there all the way I've tutored elementary students, middle school students, high school students, adult students as well. I even did an algebra for parents course, and I had 2 students in that class. So I've had like a good range of students, and so I've been able to narrow down kind of my niche. My sweet spot is upper elementary middle school, and then Algebra 1. That's the part that I enjoy the most. I also do AMC 8 math competition. So that's a middle school math contest. And I tutor that as well. And I really, really enjoy it. I've done one-on-one tutoring. I've also done group tutoring. I'm pretty comfortable with both, even though I do think that one-on-one tutoring is very, very effective. And group tutoring can also be really effective if it's a few students. I've also tutored kids in different countries, which is so super cool to me. I've tutored kids in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, in India, in China, in South Korea, in Singapore, in Australia, if I've gotten everything. And it's been such an interesting and such a cool experience. And I love that math unites us all, even though we may live on different continents. It's been just a wonderful thing to feel bonded with my students because of math. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Online tutoring is amazing. It's something that I wish that I had kind of access to when I was younger. It's different from some of the big class on Zoom, children not paying attention things that you may be used to from the shutdown, I guess, period. It's quite different from that. This one is one-on-one, where it's just me and your child, for the most part, unless it's a small group, and that's also quite manageable. And it's I get to see when your child is paying attention, when your child is not paying attention. I get to see when your child understands or doesn't understand, if there's a look of confusion. All of that I get access to. And on top of that, I have so many online resources that have been instrumental in helping my students really, really do well, right? I use Khan Academy. I use mathisfun.com. I use brilliant.org. I use Beast Academy. I use Desmos, the online graphing calculator, which is really, really helpful. I use Polypads, virtual manipulatives. So many, a plethora of resources are available with online tutoring. And that's what I really, really love about it. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that I think online tutoring one-on-one and in small groups is actually more effective, in my opinion, than in-person tutoring, unless those in-person tutoring also included some of these resources. Then I would say, okay, then they're probably equal. I offer a free initial consultation, and once you sign up for that, I will email you an assessment that you can give your child and your child can take, and then you can get that back to me before our consultation so that I use the results of that assessment to come up with a plan. And in this plan, I will focus on what I notice from the assessment in terms of gaps in your child's knowledge, right? And then also the way forward. I come up with a plan for the way forward. So I'll fill in the gaps as well as develop a plan for kind of continuing to build on their math knowledge. And another important component is I really focus on developing those critical thinking skills that I mentioned earlier. So that's super, super important in developing independent math learners. And so I really try to incorporate that. So I introduce my students to really, really challenging problems in our tutoring session where they're not being tested, it's not really high stress, and we're just one-on-one trying to talk through it. Sometimes we reason through it together until we find a solution, but it's just to introduce them to those kinds of problems, help them to see that they're not really that hard if you really, really break them down, help them to figure out how to break them down, and then develop that confidence in themselves that they can do it. So that's basically the entire process. And once I introduce that to you, I discuss with you that plan with you, and I get to know you, you get to know me. And afterwards, if you want to go forward, that's when you'd make a commitment. So that's what the student intake process looks like with Math Meets Mastery. I would say that I actually set up my intake process for you. I know that it's hard to trust or entrust your child with somebody that you don't know, somebody you've just seen on camera, right? And so I set it up so that there's no commitment until after the initial consultation where you've seen my plan, you've talked to me, you've gotten to know me a little bit. I have gotten to know you a little bit and gotten a sense of where your child is at and what I will need to kind of bring to the table, right? So once we both have that picture, then we can make an informed decision, and you don't have to make any commitment until that time. So don't worry too much about not knowing me, is what I would say. Use this intake process to kind of get to know me, and then you can make up your mind. My feelings will not be hurt if you do not pick me, honestly, because I know that all children are different, and so I might not necessarily be the perfect fit for every child, and so I'm willing to kind of show you who I am, and if that's what you're looking for, then that's great. If not, that's good too, and I will, if I can, I would even connect you to a tutor that I think would be suitable. Even if we don't end up working together, I would still love for you to make use of some of the things that I share on social media and to connect with me on social media. You can subscribe to this channel. I am also on Instagram, Math Meets Mastery. I am also on Facebook, Math Meets Mastery with Nana. I also have a Facebook group, and I will leave the link to that Facebook group in the description box. But it's basically for parents like you who want their kids to master math. If you'd like to, I would love to connect with you. And if you ever have a question, send me a message and I will do my best to get you an answer. So thank you for sticking with me until the end.